Okay, everybody, Packmaster here, and it seems like we're getting another unit for Guild Raid called Battle Admiral Laresa. And if you remember from BNC, I can't remember if it was from the live stream or from 22 that we saw the artwork for this unit, of course. She's a fire type, Omni unit, 54 cost. Again, kind of start to see more of these in the future. I would not entirely be too surprised if there was like a 60 or a 50, like a 58 or 60 cost unit. You know, because that's what they're kind of going for, you know, high cost, kind of good. So, the stats are, again, pretty good. She's got kind of, she's got, again, kind of decent stats all around. But we don't know anything else for Anima, Breaker, Guardian, etc., etc. So, her leader skill is called Ironclad Orders of Flame, and it's a 60% boost of attack and max HP, damage taken boosts BB gauge, damage taken may restore HP, and enormously boosts BB attack when HP is above 50. Relatively basic, you know. It's good. This is kind of one of those things you would see on pretty much any Omni unit nowadays. Like you just see a generic stat boost, and then two other things. And then you get some kind of extra boost, you know, given a certain thing. Like for this one, it's HP is over 50. You get a huge boost to BB attack, and that is a 300% boost to BB attack, 5 to 7 BC, and 50% chance to heal 25 of the damage. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good, but not something that's optimal for, you know, use. But then again, the extra skill is actually pretty freaking cool. So this is Inexorable March technique, and it's a 50% boost to attack of fire types, negates all status ailments, adds fire barrier effect to BB and SBB, and raises attack parameter limits to 130,000. 50% boost to recovery of fire types, adds 25 combo powerful fire attack on earth types effect to SBB, boosts fire elemental damage for all allies in Guild Raid. So this part right here, the adds 25, all that hu and ha, that's really freaking cool. So hopefully this is gonna start being used more in the future, especially if it's released pretty freaking soon. You know, given the fact that Guild Raid is in, well, Guild Raid's not that far away from now, but like if it happens, like this unit has to come out now, because like that effect right there, or if it might come out after, because you know they love doing that. They'll either release it after or like 5 minutes before. So that's like the one thing I've realized, is that some of these units, like the really good ones, are released later, or they're released in such a short time frame that you have no time to handle it. So the Brave Burst is Unrelenting Devastation, 21 powerful fire attack on all foes, greatly boost fire types attack, defense, and recovery for 3 turns, enormously boost fire type critical hit rate for 3 turns, greatly restores HP, and negates all status ailments for 3 turns. I kind of like this part because we're not seeing a lot of fire units that just have a Brave Burst that really heals and negates status ailments, and is kind of like this more a mono team setup. I mean, we're seeing that with like units like Rahotep, and a bunch of other units that are start coming out in the future, where now I'm starting to see, like, you know, the era of mono teams is going to start, you know, consuming literally everything from Arena to Coliseum to everywhere else, and it's just going to become complete ass. But it's not that bad, because we get 130% boost to fire types, you know, the stats, and then a 60% boost to critical hit rate, and heals 3,500, 4,000 HP. This is kind of like Feng's SBB, where it heals. So that's pretty good. So what is it? The next is the SBB, which is Scarlet Sunrise Assault. 25 Combo powerful fire attack on all foes. Greatly boost fire types attack, defense, and recovery for 3 turns. Enormously boosts fire types critical hit rate for 3 turns. Hugely boost BCHC drop rate for 3 turns. Boost BB attack for 3 turns. Boosts attack and defense relative to recovery for 3 turns. And greatly restores HP. So this one again is a bit better because it has 4,000 HP or 4,500 HP healed. Same parameter boost, same critical hit rate, 40% BCHC drop rate, 450% boost to BB attack. I think it's kind of like Kalon's level, and 80% rec to attack and defense. I'm not sure if I'm reading that wrong, but again, that's pretty good. You know, you get, I think what it's saying is 80% increase for attack and defense from recovery, because that's what it says right here. So again, that's not pretty bad, but we have better units that can have the same skill. So, okay, I'll get back to that in a second. What is this? Yeah, I'm trying to do Forbidden Tablets level 10. It's pretty difficult. And this is kind of basic here. So, 29, Fleet Admiral's Wrath is a 29. Massive fire attack on all foes. Enormously boosts BB attack for 3 turns, which is 600%. Enormously boosts attack defense relative to recovery. 300 to that stuff. And fully restores HP and boosts max HP by 40%. 40%, I don't really know how much of a good multiplier that is, like you know how big that really is, like scaling wise. But obviously this is definitely a unit I'm gonna summon for to like see how you know, to see how the unit performs. So parameter boost, we get attack and defense boost when BB gauge is over 50. I'm not really digging it because 50% boost, but I'm not really digging it. So I mean, that might be something other people might take, but I'm not going to. I'm probably going to take this one, 30% boost to max HP, defense, and recovery, because again, the more recovery, the better the boost. Critical hit damage 75%, considerably reduces BB gauge required for BB. Those are both 20, by the way. I might take the critical hit damage because she seems to have this critical hit rate of fire types on both the things, and it seems that you're going to need that because, you know, you can be doing a bit more damage with that and elemental weakness damage as well. So that's what, 20, 40, 55. Add status ailment removal effect to BB. That might be pretty good. So that'll be 65. Let me see. Enhances BB and SBB's attack, defense, and recovery boosts. So they get 140% parameter boost. I believe that's pretty good. What else? Enhances SBB's attack, defense, relative to recovery boost. So plus 20. That's actually pretty good. You get 100%. You get 20% boost for 100%. Damn. As damage taken, considerably boosts BB gauge to BB. Adds slight damage reduction from fire and earth types for 2 turns to BB and SBB. 15% reduction. I don't really think that's useful. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, damage mitigation, that's always really good. But to fire and earth types, 2 types that are already do nothing to it because earth types are weak against fire types. You know, Pokemon logic. What else? Like, yeah, it would probably be nice if one of these units had like let's say you had, you know, another unit. It would be better if you had mitigation for the element it's weak against, not the element it's strong against. Like for this, I probably would just take in rain with, you know, the SP for the damage mitigation and just use rain. But again, he's limited, So, well, he's going to be, well, he is limited, range limited, and this unit's probably going to be limited as well. So, I mean, again, I kind of like the design, you know, a little boat there. Kind of like ship, I guess. Overall, not really a bad unit. Enhances BB, SBB's BB attack boost effect. So 700 on the, what is that? Yeah, 700 on the on the UBB and 550 on the SBB. That's pretty good. But again, it's not one of those things I think I would take. Does Avant? I wonder if Avant does anything better. Hang on. Because if Avant does do it better, I might not take that skill. What does he do? He does 300. Yeah. Ooh. It's the highest. I think it's the highest in the game. 450. Yeah, so she's kind of better than Avant. Like, yeah, because Avant has 500 on the UBB. She has 600, and he has 300, and she has 400 for SBB. So I think she's a bit better. Also, given the fact that you have this other pretty broken skill already, as 25 powerful combo fire attack on Earth enemies. Like, that really, really, really could get broken after a while. Like, really, just imagine that. Like, you getting bored and it's like, oh, hey. You like realize you just like killed all the Earth enemies. Because, again, this skill is pretty powerful. Like, I've not seen, like, I don't think we've seen a skill like this where it adds an entire extra attack on the SBB. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is for all allies or if this is just for this one unit. Either way, it's still pretty broken. Because, look at this. You get, adds 25 combo powerful fire attack. So that's 50 hits. That's a 50 hit, Granted, there's Earth units on the enemy team. You'll be seeing a shit ton of damage because, what is that? It's like, it kind of curves in like this really nice way. It's like 21, 25, 29. But with that effect, it's like 21, 50, 29. You know, again, granted, there's Earth type units. In which case, if you're going to be using this unit, you probably want to have other units like Rahotep, who can activate that double attack in the same turn. Like, that would be really, really good. Like, you know, again, Rahotep. I mean, I'm still trying to think of other good fire units, but I really can't think of anything right now. Oh yeah, Natome, she's pretty good too. Mono fire because she has that stuff. Yeah, again, see, she would kind of pair well because, what is it? 12% chance to survive one hit KO attack. 7% chance to reproc that extra turn. Oh yeah, and his chance of reviving, you know. If you don't have Feng or didn't get Feng, Rahotep's a good alternative. But just, again, keep in mind, he is for mono fire as well as Laresa's good for mono fire. So, in the end, getting these units is not really a bad thing. Like getting Rahotep from what's her face, the other summon. Now, again, imagine if you had, again, she has boost of fire. She has parameter boost of fire. Natome has it. Rahotep has it. And then Laresa has it. But above all, I think... Yeah, I think it's going to be... I mean, hands down. Well, you know, given the circumstances, depending on what you're using Natome for, or you're using Laresa and Rahotep for, I think all around, Laresa's better. You know, breaks attack limit for herself. As a fire barrier effect. Boosts fire elemental damage in guild raid. But, you know, it doesn't matter because it's like, you know, in guild raid, you know, you're probably going to be using this unit anyways, because if it gets released, like, right now, like in the next couple of hours from now, she's going to see a lot of use in guild raid because there's, what is it, boost, well, no, the only guardians and bosses out there right now are fire, earth, and thunder, because they all got to change, and like this would be good for you're using from on a fire team. You know, also like this whole effect here, you know that whole highlighted section, that's really good. Given a mono team versing an earth unit, because like just imagine how much damage you could really do, especially with Tome. Like you get spark debuff, you get boosted spark damage. Again, you just get all this good stuff. You get 70% chance to cast 15% elemental weakness damage, 70% chance of 15 crit. Like, again, if you pair these 3 units up, I'm not sure how powerful they would be, but they would probably be, they'd probably be a little better than your typical, you know, spamming Avant team, or just any team that uses kind of an overused fire unit. Like before, when Avant was like really good, I wanted Avant. Then he kind of had his 15 minutes of fame when other good units came out. I was like, okay, so you know, like what other units do I need? So like Avant's still good to have. Like don't get me wrong, he's still pretty good for Frontier Hunter, but I really don't think you're going to be seeing too much Avant after this unit comes out. And so that being said, guys, that's pretty much my first impressions on Battle Admiral Laresa. She's actually really good. I know other people might say otherwise, but you know, you do you, I do me. And the SP options are pretty good. You know, none are too expensive for what they are. Maybe with the exception of this one, probably would be better to have it as 35, but then again, you'd have to raise one of these other ones up. But I don't see why they didn't made, if they made this one 35, right, and they made this one 15, that would be a whole lot better, because I don't really see a use for that unless you have like a BB spamming team. But you know, that being said, that's my first impressions on Battle Admiral Laresa. If you know, like this video, liked it, put a comment down below, tell me I can do better in the next video. It's Packmaster here. Hopefully we get more good news later on. So with that being said, guys, see you on the next video.